Just a boy, Christmas brought so much joy. Couldn't wait for the presents and laughter. I couldn't sleep late at night, looking for Santa with lights. Those are the memories I still remember. Then I became a man, lost sight of who I am. But right in front of me was the answer. 'Cause on Christmas I feel joy, and I turn back to a boy. The answer is to stay young forever. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song. This is not a Christmas, this is not a Christmas song.
Hello, Star Wars fans. You know, there's just 118 days until Christmas 2023. And do you realize we've already been in a writer's strike for 120 days? So there's less days to Christmas than when the writer's strike started. How about that? That's crazy. And hopefully we have fewer days till the end of the writer's strike than we have since the beginning. Let's hope that they get together and get that solved, so that all the shows that we're excited for in the future can get back on track, the movies, everything else. So you guys, we've got a lot to talk about today. And one of the things that I wanted to do is cover just the basics, right? So you see this wall of fame going by there at the bottom. Those are people who in episode 1 of Ahsoka got as many predictions right or more than me. And so those folks made it onto the Wall of Fame. If you would like to make it onto the Wall of Fame for episode 3 of Ahsoka, then all you have to do is get as many predictions correct or more than me. And we'll do my predictions sheet here together in just a little bit. So it's that easy. It's free to play. Anybody can play. You don't have to be a channel member. You don't have to be a subscriber. You don't have to pay anything. And you know what happens? At the end of the season, if you guys get as many or more correct predictions than me, then I'll send you some Star Wars Santa merch, just like this. You know, I've got my t-shirt on here. And you know what else? We've got, hey, thank you so much for that, Temple. You guys, thank you for liking, for sharing, for participating here in the chat. You know, my friend Jason Ward is streaming right now too. So he didn't realize we had scheduled across from each other. So if you're hanging out with Jason, that's all good. Catch us on the replay. That'd be great. And I want to talk about the Star Wars merch, because I got an update. They said, hey, we've got more stuff. You could put some more merch on the store. And the link to the Star Wars Santa merch, if you want to buy it, if you can't beat me in the predictions, then you can buy it. But the Star Wars Santa merch store is on streamlabs.com/Star Wars Santa 3. Why 3, you say? Well, because Star Wars Santa, Star Wars Santa 2, I had those as well, but every now and then Streamlabs updates the store and they kill my old one and they give me a new one. And so we're up to iteration number 3. Thank you for that, Star Wars Politics. I love your laugh. Oh, Santa, you know, I am a Santa Claus here, so we do that as well. Sabersmith, getting a hoodie for myself for Christmas. There you go. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Star Wars Politics. And Matt Cave Gaming, you're here as well. This workday got so much better. Matt Cave is a great dude. He's a great dude. He did some fan edits of the sequels, but spent a lot of time in that. Spending that much time with the movies, you gain a different appreciation. And Leia Rose, she's got a fan film that's in its final stages, I believe. We'll be looking for that pretty soon. I think. We just got to find out. So thank you all for that. So it says Temple might just get a hoodie too if you ship to Poland. You have to see. I think Streamlabs ships to most countries. So let me just show you. So now we've got these polo shirts. These are brand new, and it's got this one here has this the Star Wars Santa logo on it, and you can get it in red or you can get it in black. See that? So and it's embroidered. The logo's embroidered on there. That's nice. And then we've also got the polo with the live stream logo on it. So if you like the live stream logo, that's available also in black or red. How about that? Very nice. So there's that. And then we've got more. There's more. They made these water bottles. These are double wall stainless steel water bottles that you can order. $21.50 US. You guys, I marked it down as far as I can that Streamlabs will let me sell it. I make just somewhere between $1 to $3 on each thing. I think these here are close to $1. So I'm not making money on these. It's just a way for you guys to order. So there's the logo water bottle. You can get that double walled stainless steel, 17 ounce, or you can get the one with the live stream logo on it. Same deal. How about that? And then the mug is back. The mug is back. And the thing about this mug, you guys, is it has a logo on each side. Let's see if I've got one here. I've got a couple. So the way I did this is on one side of the mug, you get this logo. And on the other side of the mug, you get this logo. So you get both logos on one mug. And the way it works is you'll see here, you'll see one is logo to the right, logo to the left. So those are ways that you can get that. You get both logos on one mug. So the mugs are back. You can get those. Then also, there's more. There's more stuff. They've got these travel mugs. They only come in white, so I had to pick that. You can get yourself a travel mug here. You can see the same thing. We've got the logo, and we've also got the live stream logo. So you can get either one of those. And then, what else? Oh, the tumblers. We've got tumblers right there. Here's these are hot and cold drinks. It's a stainless steel tumbler, reusable, metal straw, perfect for cold or hot drinks. So you get a tumbler here, double walled stainless steel tumbler with a metal straw. How about that? For a little less than $21. So same deal. You can get that either with the logo or the live stream. And then there's a patch. I know patches are really popular a lot of places. So the patches are available as well. So here's the deal. You guys can go out. You can buy yourself some Santa merch. You can do that. That's fantastic. It's a great way to support the channel by letting other people know, hey, that's an interesting mug. Where'd you get that? Or whatever the case might be. And Santa makes just a little bit, like $1, $1.75, something like that per item that you guys get. And then we have some other items that have been here for some times. T-shirts. We've got a hat. We got this cool hat right here. You can get it with different options, right? So we got this hat. It's embroidered as well. There you go. So there's all kinds of stuff. And you guys, if you do well on the predictions, at the end of the season, if you're keep up with me or you beat me, I will send you merch. I'll buy it and I'll send it. You know, it's that easy. It's that easy. And just so you guys know, I ordered the promo pack of all the new stuff. It's going to take a lot of orders to pay for that. They charge me for that. To get the promo pack, just a sample of each of the items, cost me about $240. So you guys, yeah, the tumbler would be nice. You guys, that'd be fantastic. Link for the Streamlabs merch is on Discord. I don't think so. It's in the description here, though, Fitz. It's in the description of every video that I do. You'll find it, Streamlabs the merch stores in there, so you can find that. So there you go. There you go. Star Wars Santa merch. Lots of merch available. They gave me more things I could put on there. They had discontinued the mugs, but they gave me, I think they changed suppliers for their mugs. So the mugs are back on there again. So anything that you guys would like to see, let me know. But we've got a merch store. We've got some stuff that you can pick. Some of it had different colors and different things like that. And you guys, you can see here was episode 2 for the predictions. Episode 2, the folks who were able to meet or beat my predictions, they were able to they made it onto the Wall of Fame. And normally, hey, there's Meg. She stopped in. Good to see you, my friend. Star Wars Meg here in the chat. We're going to talk about her video here in a little bit. I think she did a great job of covering today's news. So there you go. You guys are doing great. Thank you. And we also then what I'll do is I play at the bottom of the screen the season leaderboard. So the season leaderboard, these are the folks who have kept up with me or they're ahead of me for the entire season. These are the folks that are in the mix to win some Star Wars Santa merch. So far, we've got a number of people on the list that are in the running. Some people just behind, almost there. They're very, very close to making it onto the leaderboard for this season. So there's all of that. Other than that, you guys, Patreon. Patreon is the best place you can support any of your content creators. My friend Star Wars Meg, who dropped in the chat, she's got a wonderful Patreon. She just published a bit of work that she did. It's a little fan, it's not a fan film, it's fan fiction. It's Star Wars story from Star Wars Meg, available on her Patreon. I've got a Patreon. You can support me there for as little as just $1 a month. And for $1 a month, you can get your name listed here behind me. Not only that, but you get access to a monthly meeting that we have, a Zoom call, and you get entered in for, there's access there to videos that are not available on YouTube. There's all that kind of things. There's everything. So we've got a lot of great people in the chat. Ducky, Leia Rose, my fellow Ray fan. We like to troll X-Wing on that, but there you go. Hey, thank you for that, Temple. To get an interview with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Wow, what a dream that would be. That would be fantastic. So there you go. That's all the for myself, right? That's it. We're going to go on and talk about Star Wars stuff. We're going to get into the news. The first bit came to us, and it actually came from Samba TV, and Meg did a great job of covering it today. But Samba TV reports, and then Bespin, of course, our friend Bespin Bulletin, shared that the viewership's lower on the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka than they were for The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi, or the Book of Boba Fett. Hey, there's Matt Risman. Matt Risman's in the chat. Good to see you, Matt. Is this bad news for Star Wars? Is Star Wars dead? I saw earlier somebody posted in the chat, like right before the show started. Where is it? I got to go back up and grab it there. And then you guys put some stuff in the chat that I'd like to go back and catch. Let's see if I can get all the way to the top. All the way to the top. Come on. Here we go. Here it is. There it is. Ryan Campbell. Oh no, Star Wars is dead again. Is it dead? We have lower viewership on Ahsoka, the first 2 episodes, than we did on these other shows. How bad is that? Is that terrible news? And what do we do with Samba? Samba TV has, and Dawn Classman, Dawn K, she's on the road. Good to have you with us, Dawn. The numbers came in. They're not terrible. Just when you start to compare them to the scale of Mandalorian season 1 and season 2, it falls below. In fact, it fell below Mandalorian season 3. Why is that? Are people turning off Star Wars? Are people turning off Disney Plus? People getting rid of their Samba TVs? What's no, I don't think so. Well, I think you have to look at the totality of it, and let's just read what Bespin wrote here. Bespin does a great job of talking about like the context of things. He says it's important to readers to remember that these numbers are not official, as Disney typically does not release numbers for their series or films on Disney Plus unless the project in question is doing exceptionally well. This is something that's common across all of the streaming platforms. We just don't know. We don't know Netflix or Max, HBO Max, Paramount, Peacock. We don't have like official industry numbers. They're not reporting those. Like they never reported any of those kind of things. TVs, we normally get them from like Nielsen. Nielsen does a survey and they get people to report what they watch, and then they extrapolate that. And the way statistics work is you reach a number of surveys that is statistically significant. I used to tutor statistics at the Ohio State University. I did really well at statistics, understand the concepts. Like there's a point in which the numbers that you get from any sampling, as long as it's a random sampling that's across the different channels, right? You get a sampling that the demographics, that's the word I wanted. As long as you get a sampling that is random across the demographics, you can do a really good job of reaching a statistically significant number that will extrapolate out to the entire population as a whole. And that number is strikingly small when you start to talk statistically. Normally when you see, like for political things, they will sample like 1,200 Americans, and they'll say, you know, candidate A is 5 points ahead candidate B. Well, that's because at like 1,200, the statistic significance has already achieved what it will. So let me give you an example that's easier to understand. If I've got a coin or a six-sided dice, I got a six-sided dice, and I roll that dice once, well, I got a 1 in 6 chance. If I roll that dice 20 times, then the chances are that I'm going to average out to each number being equal. If I roll it 200 times, eventually you're going to get to a point where statistically you've gotten an equal number across all those 6. And that's why it's a 1 in 6 chance. Every single time there's a 1 in 6 chance. So over a large enough sampling, it will level out. Same with a two-sided coin, right? You flip it enough times, it'll start to equal out. You may go on a run where you get like heads 5 times. You're like, oh, I got a better chance of getting heads than tails. No, that's not the way it goes, right? You keep flipping it. So here's the deal with Samba. Samba has lots and lots of sampling size here in the United States. Now, is their sampling size statistically significant across all demographics? We don't know. We don't know. So when they say that they had a certain number of folks, or the watch hours or viewers or whatever, it's their population. So when we compare Samba to Samba to Samba, right? So Samba with Obi-Wan, Samba with the Book of Boba Fett, Samba with Mandalorian Season 3, and Samba with Ahsoka, then we at least know within their demographics how well it's going. Does that extrapolate out to our friends in Europe? In Poland and in London and in Ireland and in Australia and around the world? No. The frank term is no. Right? Numbers could be different across countries. Samba's limited to mainly United States, some Canadian. Right? So that's about it. You get beyond that, we don't know. So when we start to compare, we get a really good idea of what it looks like as a sampling size. Statistically significant, we don't exactly know. And if Disney Plus, right? If Apple, here we go. If Apple buys Disney, would you consider it Disney Star Wars? Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. No, it would be Apple Disney, right? Or Apple Lucasfilm. Like we have George Lucas's Star Wars, we have Disney's Star Wars, then we would have Apple Star Wars, right? Each one with their own era, right? And then like Temple says, I don't know if it's good. Well, it doesn't change the fact that those eras exist, right? So you can say, well, I like the George Lucas era of Star Wars better than the Disney era of Star Wars. Or I like the Apple era of Star Wars better than the Disney era of Star Wars. Or maybe you like the Disney era better than the Apple era, if it were ever sold, right? And I think that's a big if. Like we can't really go there. So we go into, we get back to this article. Let me get back to the article. There'd be two ways of spinning. A positive for Disney, they'll use unique views, right? Or they'll turn to minutes watched. In the past, Disney have touted Obi-Wan as the most watched premiere, which consisted of 2 episodes, with most of the series at the time only consisting of 1 episode premieres. What he's saying is, like when other series started in those first 5 or 6 days, there was 1 episode to watch. 40 minutes, 50 minutes, whatever the case might be, right? Hey, Jedi Mike, we're going to be spoiler free here for a good bit of time today. I'll give you guys a warning when we're getting ready to go into spoilery territory. So if they only had 40 minutes to watch and they watched it twice, right? Or if there was 2 episodes and they watched it twice, then that's 4 viewings. So it automatically doubles up. And then you remember, like with one of them, they put the first few episodes over on like ABC. Like they put them on Hulu. They put them other places. So there's stuff like that. I don't think Star Wars is dead. Just more people make hate videos than related videos. You know what, Temple? You're not wrong. And there's something to be said about this platform specifically. Like YouTube consists of a certain population of people. It's a very big population. But when you start to get into different communities like Star Wars or let's say my friend Star Wars Fitz has a daily Bible devotional. And I've been watching his Bible devotionals. Certain number of people in there doing religious content or doing sci-fi content or how to fix your car content, right? Within the Star Wars content creator, and not only the creators, but those who watch YouTube videos about Star Wars, it's predominantly people who have been negative. It's predominantly. It makes my channel, my lane here pretty small, but we have a good time talking about Star Wars. So when we get into this, Obi-Wan started with 2, so it jumped its numbers up. And it says, and this figure was based on the number of minutes watched for both episodes and includes repeat viewings. While Kenobi is Disney's most watched premiere in terms of minutes watched, its first season of Loki, which is the most watched premiere in terms of unique views, represents individual watch and not repeat viewings. So much manipulation of numbers, right? It says it's very rare that Disney release numbers for their Disney Plus projects. So it's left down to third-party data collectors to give fans some semblance of an idea how the film or series has been performing. And that's where folks like Samba TV, Plum Research, and let's not forget the classic Nielsen, right? Give a peek behind the curtain pertaining to project's performance. However, it's worth remembering these outlets are not right official and do not paint the full picture. Only Disney knows how successful a series is and what true viewership numbers for said TV season are. But he says here we're looking at Samba. We're only able to gather information from devices across the United States and some of Canada as well, right? Does not represent the globe or even the full representation of U.S. viewership. However, it's still useful. It's still a large number. It's not like they got 20 of these TVs out there. They've got hundreds of thousands of them, maybe millions of them, right? It's likely represents how the series is performing. Goes back to that statistical significance number I talked about, just to a smaller scale, and can be comparable to past shows or movies. Compare Samba to Samba, and you get a gauge, right? You get a gauge. You can't really tell in a larger picture. The Samba is reporting after 6 days, the first episode of Ahsoka was watched 1.2 million households. 1.2 million households. The first episode. I imagine he means episodes, the two. I'd have to go and read Samba's actual thing. It says, this number is smaller than Mandoverse series. Book of Boba Fett had 1.7. So we're down 500,000 views from Book of Boba Fett. You know how people think about Book of Boba Fett. Santa kind of liked it, but I'm amongst the minority here on YouTube. It wasn't my favorite by far either, right? 1.6 million views for The Mandalorian, so we're still down from that season 3 after 5 days. So you see up here, this is after 6 days, right? After 6 days, 1.2. After 5 days, they had 1.6. So we're down 400,000. Then Kenobi debuted with 2.4 million in 5 days. Again, it's 6 days and half of that, right? So the numbers listed were all reported by Samba TV. And so as you see, Ahsoka also had additional day of tracking. Though Samba have not released their data on Andor's premiere, Ahsoka's 1.2 million is reportedly similar to Andor, right? Plum Research reported that Andor was the lowest performing Star Wars live action series, bringing in 20 million unique viewers over the course of the entire series. Book of Boba Fett had 30 million, Obi-Wan had 33 million. So, additionally, it says Deadline, in collaboration with Samba, are reporting the second episode of Ahsoka had 956,000. So they went from 1.2 million on episode 1 to 956,000 on episode 2. It's a decline. And considering that they both played back to back, means people watched episode 1 and said, okay, I'll catch it later. I'm not going to stay in for episode 2. That's pretty alarming. It says a notable decline from series opener. Most positive response from critics and fans. Yeah, Ahsoka is sitting 86% on Rotten Tomatoes. Critics with a 79 audience, 79%. Ahsoka is doing really well amongst content creators, Star Wars Theory, Den of Nerds, Star Wars Meg, like all the big content creators in this space. The bulk of them are really, really high on Ahsoka. Our friends over at Echo Base Network, they're mixed, not so high, but in any event, overall, we're getting really, really good reception. It says, thank you for reading the article, so on and so forth. So, viewership's down. Viewership's down. Here's what I'll say, and it goes a lot with what Meg said. We can't just discount it because we like it. Right? The numbers are down. I think there's lots of reasons. The average audience have no idea who Ahsoka is, but the average audience too, if they have Star Wars friends, and their Star Wars friends are saying this is the best Star Wars since whatever. You guys need to catch it. It's wonderful. It's fantastic. It's the best of the best. You guys need to go watch it right now. If they're getting more of that kind of feedback from their Star Wars friends, then over the course of the series, word of mouth will start to pick up, and you start to get more of that synergy around the what they call water cooler talk. And so far, we're seeing a lot of positivity come from those hardcore or the Star Wars fans who are really on the deep end of the pool, and those are really going to help with the other folks who want to get in on it. They want to know, what is all this about, right? So let's be patient. Let's see how it goes. But you cannot deny that the numbers are down. They're down. Is it the end of the world? No, my friends. Ahsoka is still in the very, very, very top tier of Disney Plus content. If you just look at Disney Plus content as a whole, Ahsoka is still very, very, very high. It's way up. So it's not like nobody's watching. It's just the numbers aren't as strong as some of those other shows. So let me get caught up. I saw a lot of comments. Ducky, my friend Ducky Momo. Ducky does really well at these predictions typically. And he is always in the hunt at the end of the season. Sometimes he's right there. So it says, honestly, I don't think it matters what the show is. Viewership is going to be down. They need to win people back with good show. Not just the hope subject matters will automatically bring views. Agreed. And I think that's where that word of mouth comes in, Ducky, right? Like, if all your friends are saying it's great, and you're like, yeah, but I really hated that fill in the blank, right? I hated that Mandalorian season 3. It was so terrible. Or I really hated that Book of Boba Fett. It was a big letdown. Unwatchable. Or that Kenobi show. What in the world? Who did that? That doesn't even like whatever, right? So I'm not saying those are my opinions. I'm just trying to represent. I loved all of them, right? But Santa's, I tend to be glass half full on all things. But in this case, if your other friends who have similar thoughts as you watch it and they say, oh no, I'm telling you, William, this show is worth watching. This show is getting it right. And you're like, I'll wait. You wait. You get towards the end of the season. If you're still there, maybe I'll give it a check, right? That's what you're saying. And hopefully that's the case. As the season goes, it'll continue to build. And that word of mouth will build, and they'll say, no, I'm telling you, we're on episode 6, and I'm on the edge of my seat waiting for episode 7. It's the best Star Wars we've seen in a long time. So that's what I'm hoping for, because I want to see Star Wars succeed. And I just love talking about Star Wars and talking with my friends about Star Wars. So there you go. Temple, do you think Andor Season 2 will get a bigger viewership after Season 1 critical success? Could it push Disney to make more quality content like Andor? Oh boy, that's a mixed bag. Because what we've described before is that these shows are like going to a smorgasbord. And the easiest way to think about it, really the easiest way, is you go back to Star Wars 1977, when I was 10 years old, right? When I watched it in the theaters as a 10-year-old. And the original trilogy was released. Once it was released after 83, then that was your Star Wars. That was it. And for decades, people had only that. So if you like Star Wars, you liked that. Let's be clear. Like, there wasn't anything else to like. You liked that. Then came the prequels, right? Then came the prequels. And some of us, myself included, was so excited for the Phantom Menace. We watched the Phantom Menace. We're like, all right, that was different, but it's Star Wars. That's cool. It's cool. And then you went and saw Attack of the Clones and said, nah, that ain't cool. I do not. Right? That was me. So then you've got a split fandom. The fandom that like when all of the fans loved the original trilogy. Now you've got part of the fans who love the prequels and part of the fans that hated the prequels. Some in the middle. Then we move forward another couple decades, right? Move forward another couple decades. People who grew up with the prequels now, who are still Star Wars fans, are passionate about it. And then you get other folks who are not so much, right? Then the sequels come out and you divide the fandom again. Every time more content comes out, you draw people in and you push people out. And still, your fans of the original trilogy are still fans of the original trilogy. They just don't like the new stuff. And that's always going to be the case, especially with this kind of stuff. What you want to try to do is put out content that sweeps across the board, get your original, your prequel, and your sequel fans, right? And I saw that. We had a fantastic, my friend Matt Cave, thank you so much, gifted 5 memberships. Matt, absolutely amazing. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that. You guys, the memberships go a tremendous way to helping this channel and YouTube knowing that you like this kind of content. And so, Matt Cave, thank you for that. God bless you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's fantastic. Got an off-topic question. Since you said you love Superman, you think best comic book character? Yes, I was Superman 78 experience. Oh, there you go. Oh, 2 movies from my childhood that were like off the top: Superman and Star Wars. Right, that first Superman with Christopher Reeve, loved it. It was still off a little bit from the comic book fan guy, but wow, what a great Superman movie. And I remember when I went to see it, I got to the theater late, and this is before you got the pre-buy tickets. Get to the theater late, and the only seats that were available were front row, very front row. I'm sitting in the front row, like watching Superman, but it was great. It was great. All right. Leia Rose gifted a membership. You guys grabbing those memberships. Thank you for that, Matt. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Let's see. I may have missed your guys' chat. Stay with me. If I miss something and you want me to come back to it, then let me know. Other than that, we're gonna jump into some other stuff. So I do not think that Star Wars is dead by any means. Hey, Nerd Mafia, 14 months of membership. And I saw Nerd Mafia posted something earlier. I saw it go by and I was like, oh, I need to see what he put in there. Let me go back up and catch what Nerd Mafia put in there. He's fighting computer technology is not his friend. Let's see. Viewership's going to be lower naturally because people are back to their lives post-COVID too. Oh, good point. Good point, Nerd Mafia. So back in 2020, when we were all stuck in our houses, not allowed to go anywhere, all the theaters are closed, all the things are done, there's nowhere to go, nothing to see, nothing to do, then along comes streaming content. And Disney was perfectly situated to ride that wave. And so now, yeah, it's coming down its natural low. And boy, I just do not know about the future of the movie industry with this writer strike going on. And it's like we said, it's 120 days in, and we don't know when the end of that's going to be. Plus, just the future's changing. It's changing on all of us, my friends. It's really getting crazy. So, yeah, RF Gaming. I had that front row experience for Apollo 13. Wow, that's a large movie to be sitting in the front row for. Holy moly. Jeez. I can't even imagine, because that movie is so expansive. Like, did it get hot when the rockets fired off? Wow, that's really close. Yeah, so you guys, I don't think it's the end of the world. I don't think it's like, send up the flares. Star Wars is in trouble. I think that if this show continues to do well, and the fans who are enjoyed the first 2 episodes, and folks who are still sort of on the fence, if the show continues to go in a positive direction, if it continues to get word of mouth, positive responses, we will see more and more momentum, more and more of that coffee or the water cooler talk, and also binge watching an entire season once the season's released is also a thing. And that's the Netflix model, is they release it and then you can binge the whole season. Don't discount that either. People are like, "Oh, you're really liking it? Great. When it comes out, when all the episodes are out, I'll get it." Because people are also turning on and off their memberships to these subscription services as content is available. So they're like, "Okay, I don't have my Disney Plus account active right now. When it's done, I will activate it and I'll watch all of it over a weekend and I'll turn it back off again." Like that. So there's stuff like that as well. So you guys, I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be fine. Who's the next villain after Thrawn? You think it's the Yuzan Vong? Boy, I don't know. I saw Josh Lucas jumped in deep. I text Meg, Star Wars Meg, and Jason Ward yesterday. I'm like, I think Josh needs to lay off the blinkers just a little bit, because he sometimes hits the blinkers a little too hard, and then he sees stuff that's not there. Just put it that way. If you know Dinner Nerds, you know Josh. You know what I'm saying. And I think he hit the blinkers too hard. I don't think the Yuzan Vong are in play. I really don't, and or at least not now. Timothy Zahn, the author and creator of Thrawn, has a different villain for the Chiss Ascendancy, the Empire, and for Thrawn, and that's the Grisk. And if we're going to see Thrawn brought in to the introduction of another big bad, it's going to be Grisk, not the Yuzan Vong. Might they do the Yuzan Vong maybe in this new galaxy that they're headed to? Maybe. Might they do the Rakata warriors out there? I think the Rakatans are probably the second behind the Grisk. We might actually see Rakatans. I've seen a lot of evidence that makes me think that they're absolutely going to go into the Rakatans. So I'm probably saying that wrong, but you guys know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. I would say much, much, much bigger chance the Rakatan warriors are brought in, and we'll see that come about. Nerd Mafia, shame on you. Shame on you. Thrawn will have a child. He'll name him Spawn, and that child will seek revenge. Shame on you. They could do the Yuzan Vong after the sequel trilogy. It fits. Yeah, I don't disagree. I just don't think that's in the cards anytime soon. Right? I don't think so anytime soon. All right, so I want to show you guys a little clip. We're going to get into the predictions. We're going to get into episode 3 predictions. So you guys, if you've been avoiding the teaser trailers, you've been avoiding all talk of spoilers, you've been avoiding any knowledge of what's coming, now would be the time to click like on the video, let other people know, and check on out. And watch Ahsoka tonight and enjoy it completely fresh. If that's what you want to do, now's the time to jump. Now's the time to jump. So the link to the predictions form is in the description here. It's in our Discord. It's in our Patreon. It's in the YouTube community tab. It's in Facebook for Star Wars Santa, and Twitter, X, whatever that is, for for Star Wars Santa, and in Threads. So you guys can find the prediction form and just go in blind like Jedi Mike, and enjoy the episode fresh in this evening. So there you go. Have a good one. For Coachella, hey, my good friend says, just got here. Much love. Have a great day. Thank you so much for that. It's Jedi Mike. Bye-bye. We'll see you later, Mike. Thank you so much for stopping in and hanging with us this long. So here we go. Here we go. We're going to jump into something. And Meg shared some of this the other day. You know what? I think I'm going to change this. Hold on a second. Let me do something here. I go into, because I don't like what it's doing. Let me see if I can do this. Let's try it. What happens if I do this? Oh, okay. I'm gonna have to. Let me grab this second. Capture a window. I want this window. There we go. How about that? Ha ha! How about that? Now you can see it right over my shoulder here. And I'll go ahead and do that. Look at there. Look at there. So Ahsoka, this is in the trailer that came out the other day. It's called Legacy. Legacy on YouTube. And I've got it turned down. I think, to 1/4 speed. We're going to watch this really slow and with the audio turned off, because right at the very beginning, 2 seconds in, there's another scene here that I want to include in my predictions. Right? I'm going to include it in my predictions. Star Wars politics. I think Yuzan Vong or Grisk or some form of either is absolutely going to play part in Ahsoka. Yes, I agree. What about you all? Let Star Wars politics know. Do you agree with? I agree. And let me go back here because I gotta make sure everybody gets seen on the Wall of Fame there. Imagine a Clone Wars live action. No, we've already had Clone Wars, but I get you. It would be fun, but I don't think they're going to do it. All right, so here, 2 seconds in, we get another little shot, and I want to include in my predictions. So there you see Ahsoka and Sabine, right? And notice there, Sabine is wearing. Let me back it up again. Sorry, Sabine is wearing her Mando armor with the lightsaber. Well, the last time we saw her with the lightsaber, she wasn't wearing her Mando armor. And we know in the trailer there's the little fight between her and Shin. She's going to have a rematch with Shin here eventually. I'm not sure it'll be next episode, though. Not sure if it'll be episode 3 or 4. I want to think 4, but maybe next episode. This is a shorter episode too. Remember, it's like 35 minutes. So are we going to get the Shin and Sabine rematch like in the next episode or the one after? I think probably episode 4. Probably. I'd be wrong. I think probably 4. So there you go. There's Sabine. And then this scene here. This is the scene that I wanted to touch base on. This is our planet, just for those who track these kind of things. The planet is it Arcana? No, Cetos. Cetos. This is the planet Cetos, but we'll just call it the Stonehenge place, right? It's the Stonehenge place. And this Stonehenge place, you can see the stones back here with these little half moon things, right? We'll see these. We know that that's where Hera is. Well, look behind Hera. Look right there. Oh, you know what that is? Oh, you know what that is? That's the Ghost. That's Hera's ship, the Ghost, the iconic ship that is now being HasLab funded. We're hoping that it gets all of the figures unlocked, that they reach their maximum goal. It's climbing. It's not there yet, but we see the Ghost tonight. Oh boy. Oh, let's hope so. I'm loving to see the Ghost. If you've watched Rebels, you know what the Ghost is. That's the name of the ship, like the Millennium Falcon. The Falcon, that's the Ghost. And it's bigger. It's great. The Ghost is fantastic. So it's good to see that there. And Hera is arrived. You see Chopper right there behind her. So I think this is tonight. I think this is the night that we'll get to see the Stonehenge world here, Cetos, with Hera there. Before, we saw Ahsoka fighting Balin here. We know Ahsoka's going to fight Balin here. I think that's tonight. We saw Balin hanging out there once Morgan Elsbeth showed the big map and all of that. And then Shin went to go help Morok move the hyperdrive engine to the Aya Scion, right? We saw all of that. Balin is still here. Ahsoka's going to show up here, and so is Hera. Look at that. I think that's all tonight. I think that's all tonight. So when we get into my predictions, that's what I'm going to put in there because it's quite clear. There's Morok. This is from the last episode. All the people who, there we go. This is the scene I was talking about. There's Balin, and you can see the star map right behind him here. This and the stones, the Stonehenge place, right? You can see all that right here. Balin, and that's Ahsoka. Right there, you can see top of her head. So Ahsoka and Balin are going to have their little fight right here, right now, tonight. That's my guess. So let's get in there just a little bit. This is from episode 1. I'm going to stop this here because what I want to talk about is our predictions. And this is the predictions form. This is what this looks like. If you guys, Leia Rose, World Between Worlds. Not tonight. Not tonight. I don't think so. Maybe in episode 5. And the reason I say episode 5 is because that's when Bespin has revealed to us that the Anakin episode is 5. And I think that's when Ahsoka's going to be communing with him. And she may be in the World Between Worlds. She may be having a flashback to some time she spent in the World Between Worlds. She's going to be having visions. There's going to be all this stuff. That's episode 5. We're on episode 3. That's not tonight. That's not tonight. So, yeah. There you go. Yeah, what was this? I don't want to make any expectations. You know, the problem with making expectations is that they can be a letdown. But predictions. We're going to do predictions. This is how you do predictions. I'm going to do mine live right here together with you all. And the link to the predictions form is in the description. So you guys can do that. Again, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to subscribe. You don't have to like or share or anything. If you want to play along, you can play along. And if you hit on the leaderboard for the end of the season, I'll send you merch too. Free of charge. No cost to you. You get some Star Wars Santa merch. So here we go. Who are you? We need to know who you are. You know, some people forgot to fill this out. So you got to let us know who you are. Star Wars Santa. And then someone will say, may the Force be with you in this episode. There are 10 yes/no questions. These tend to be very just Star Wars generic questions. It could apply to any show. Will somebody tonight say, may the Force be with you? We're going to the Stonehenge world. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say, someone will be killed, a non-droid, a specific here. So, hey, Meg's still with us. Hey, I love you, Meg. Thanks so much for staying with us. She says, Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma. Somebody will say, may the Force be with you. I think so. Hera's going to tell Mon Mothma. I think that's a good point too, Meg. We saw in the trailer this holo projection of Mon Mothma and several others like senators and politicians, presumably. And Hera telling Mon Mothma, hey, there's a problem. I think that could be the deal. And you could hear may the Force be with you there as well. So Mon Mothma, it could be tonight as well. Maybe next week. Maybe. If we go straight to the Stonehenge world, most of it takes place there. We may not get Mon Mothma until next week, but I think so. Someone will be killed. So a non-droid. So this is a generic trooper, a citizen, a pilot. You see a ship explode, something like that. Somebody gets killed. I'm going to say no for tonight. Look at that. Santa going on the record with a no. Droid will be referred to by name. I think it's almost guaranteed that we're going to hear Chopper by name almost every episode, if not every single episode. Not only that, but we have Hu Yang as well. Don't forget, Hu Yang is playing around with Ahsoka and Sabine, and they're calling his name all the time. So yes, I think most certainly a droid will refer to by name. A ship will fire upon another ship. Oh, Will Morgan. Will's been doing some great shorts over on Meta Egg. If you're not checking Meta Egg, go check out Will Morgan on Meta Egg. But a ship will fire upon another ship. Will we have a ship battle? I don't know. I know we're going to see Ghost. We're going to see Ahsoka. And we're going to see this Stonehenge battle happening. But will we see a space battle, a battle between ships? Battle between ships? We're going to fire upon one another in space or even in atmosphere? There is a scene of Shin flying like a fighter. We could see Shin and them firing upon one another. So I'm going to say yes, right? And she's wearing like the thing like Anakin wore. So we'll see the inside of a hyperspace tunnel. It's time. Yes, we need to see the inside of a hyperspace tunnel. I'll say yes, because we know they keep leaving that out for us. But I think we will. We saw it at the very end of episode 2 when they jumped into hyperspace. But in episode 3, I think so. Lightsabers will cross. Well, absolutely. Baylan and Ahsoka for sure. I think we may see the other one, episode 4. I think I'm going to hold off. I can be surprised. That'd be great. But Baylan and Ahsoka, for sure, that's happening tonight. I think so. I think so. So yes, on 6, 7, a named character from another show appears. So characters that count. If any of these characters show up, you can get a point, or somebody like them. Din Djarin, Mon Mothma, right? Luke Skywalker, R2-D2, Vader, Anakin, Fennec, Eli Vanto. Somebody, Mon Mothma. Say yes. Just say yes to that for Mon Mothma. Characters that don't count: Ahsoka, Chopper, Hera, Jason Syndulla, any of the Rebels being cast, right? So there. Someone will use the Force. Observable. Yes. We're having a battle between Baylan and Ahsoka. They're using the Force. A flashback scene. Oh boy, it's coming. It's coming. And by flashback scene, you see, I expanded it to be, it could be a vision in a dream. So it's something that could happen in the future. Not technically a flashback. It's a vision of things that could happen. Could be a world between worlds. You're seeing a different, so it's not a flashback. It's a view of something that happened in the past. Or it could be a memory, a true flashback. So will you see a flashback scene, a vision, world between worlds, something like that tonight? Tonight? Vision like Anakin had? Yes. Or yes, just like that. I don't think it's tonight. Episode 5, 100%. 100% episode 5. Episode 3, I don't know. No. I don't think so. Question 10. A species or droid talks in another language with subtitles to translate. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. You know what I mean. It's like Jabba the Hutt speaks in Huttese, and they put what he says in there. Any tea? I don't have specific tea for this episode, Ducky. I have some tea, but nothing that I could share for this episode. So bonus question. This is where you can earn some bonus points, and I've changed it up this season. No points are awarded for something out of show. So if you say like the episode runtime, for example, or this episode's going to be shorter than the last one, we know that. So you could say that, but you get 0 points. I specifically put it in there, right? Or a negative prediction, like Luke Skywalker will not be in this episode. Or you could say, like, Darth Vader will not, or the Emperor will not. Oh, how about Snoke will not be in this episode? No, you don't get any points for any negative predictions, like an anti, like something that would not happen. Or like Ahsoka will not see Anakin's Force Ghost, right? Ahsoka will not travel to Earth. No, you can't put any of those. Right? Even though that would be true, you can't put a negative prediction. Not negative as in like bad, but negative as in won't happen, right? 1 point predictions. Ahsoka will light her sabers, for example. Yeah, obviously that's going to happen. Or a Chopper will be in it. Or we'll see the ghost, like tonight, right? Someone will shoot a blaster. All these are like 1 point. And then if you say an unspecific action, like Ahsoka will fly a ship, or Hera will fly the ghost, right? Like those are obvious action, right? Hera flies the ghost. That's obvious. A trailer scene, something you saw in the trailer, like Hera stands in front of the ghost at Stonehenge. No, no, that's just a one pointer, right? Because we saw it in the trailer, right? Or Ahsoka trains Sabine with wooden poles. That might be tonight. That might be tonight as they're traveling, and she could be. They could be doing that training because they set her up to be Padawan last time. So there you go. I would say if you wanted to guess this, it's probably tonight. Very strong chance it could be tonight. A leaked scene. So if you're reading Bespin Bulletin or you're reading MakingStarWars.net and you've seen a leaked scene, even if you're not reading it, but it's still leaked, it's still only worth a point. Right? Like, but Santa, I didn't read it. I didn't know that. I just guessed it out of my head. How good am I? You're like, you're fantastic, but it was leaked. Sorry, 1 point. Right? Then we have 5 points for those of you who are willing to go out on a limb and make a prediction that could not happen. We don't know. It's got to be something very specific, right? It's got to be named. It can't be like wishy-washy. So like a specific cameo appearance, not seen in a trailer. Like Zeb will be in this episode. We haven't seen that. And when that's not been leaked, we don't have any rumors that Zeb will be in there. But if you say Zeb is going to be in this episode and he shows up tonight, winner, chicken dinner, 5 points, right? We see a specific planet not seen in a trailer, like Wayland. If you've read the Heir to the Empire novels, or you've gone and seen the Bad Batch, you know what Wayland is. Where Mount Tantus is. We visit Mount Tantus. That would count. 5 points. A specific character says a specific phrase. Like I say, Ahsoka will say, "May the Force be with you." If you put that in there, it's very likely, but it might not happen either. We don't know. It has to be specific person, specific phrase. You put that in and it's right, you get 5 points. The a specific unexpected action, like Ahsoka flies an X-Wing. Well, Ahsoka doesn't fly X-Wings, so that would be very unexpected. But if you guessed it and it happened, you'd get 5 points. Then the last one, a specific scene. Ahsoka will see Anakin's Force gifts. Unlike the 0 point for Ahsoka will not see, if you say Ahsoka will see, and it's not leaked, like Episode 5, or in Episode 5, but we don't even know Force Ghost. We know Anakin is going to be in there, but don't know. So if you said that and it happened, and it's not leaked, 5 points, right? Matt Cave, oh man, now I want to see Ahsoka fly next week. Me too, my friend. That's why I put it in there. I put it in there, trying to manifest it. Come on, put Ahsoka in an X-Wing. We need it. We need it. So my answer is we're going to fight at, and I'm going to put it in quotes here, right? Just because you don't have to be a big Star Wars nerd. You don't have to know all the things, right? So I do this so you guys can see. Fight at, and I'll put it in here, Stonehenge, right? Ahsoka versus Balin. Balin. All right, that's my fill in the blank. I think it's going to happen, and I'll get 1 point if that happens tonight. This is a 1 pointer. This isn't like, because we've seen the fight at Stonehenge. We've seen Ahsoka fighting Balin at Stonehenge, right? This meets all the qualifications for a 1 pointer. So that's my guess. I submit that, and my predictions are in. My predictions are in, my friends. So that's how that works. You guys fill in your predictions, and you might make it onto the Wall of Fame for episode 3. You say we've been playing episode 2. And then, of course, there's the possibility that if you do well during the season, you can show up on the leaderboard for the season and win yourself some fantastic Star Wars Santa merch. So there's that. All right, so let's get caught up with some of the chat. It says, Will Morgan, we live in a world where sources have to pick on fiction to get their numbers up, even when fiction numbers are down. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Where you got to hate on a made-up story because they made it up different than what you like. I made it up. That's what we got a friend on the channel, Rural Farm Boy. He likes to say it's their story, they're telling it. It's all made up, right? It's all made up. If they make up the story and they tell it, it's their story to tell. You can like it or not like it, but they get to do that. Star Wars fits. How about we see Death Star, or the third Death Star? Would that be 5 points? It would. If you said third Death Star and it shows up, 5 points for sure. It's not happening. But anyway, there you go. Fitz Star Killer base was third. Death Star 3 is technically in the Star Tours ride. George Lucas confirmed it's canon. Star Tours, Death Star 3. Nutty stuff. Let's see. Rolling Stone. Meg covered this today. Rolling Stone writes up a mistake in the crawl, and yet they've been sued for making stories up for the last 4 years. Yeah, they're picking on English grammar. It's not that it's wrong. It's just that the grammar. Well, you use the wrong word there. Your English ain't great. Something like that, right? Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Imagine Anakin teaching Ahsoka the last lesson to become a Force ghost. Well, that'd be great. I just don't think it's going to happen. Because they just, like, who gave Anakin the last lesson on becoming a Force ghost? And he just did it, right? So I think you're going to see more and more of that. Same for Leia, right? She just became a Force ghost. Luke, he just became a Force ghost. You didn't see those lessons taught. What about Ahsoka will not be in the episode? The whole Mando takes over like Boba. Ducky, that might be an exception if you say this episode will not have Ahsoka in it, a la Mando Boba Fett, right? You could get 5 points for that, Ducky. I'll give you 5 points for that one. Temple, I think Ahsoka dies next season when she's older. I don't think so, but you could be right. You could be right. We've got two. So just touch on this. We'll see the ghost. That's a 1-pointer, Sabersmith. That's a 1-pointer. We know that Dave Filoni has been assigned this Mando era movie, the Mando movie, for lack of a better term, right? Doesn't have a title yet. And Mandalorian seasons 1 through 4, season 4, 1 through 4, as well as Boba Fett, and Ahsoka, and Skeleton Crew, which is still coming. All of those are supposed to feed into this movie event. So we still have Skeleton Crew, which is filmed, and it'll be coming out either December or more likely January to March next year, first quarter 2024. So we got Ahsoka, Skeleton Crew, Mando 4, then the movie. I would bet dollars to donuts that Ahsoka will be in the movie. I mean, come on now. Ahsoka's going to be in the movie. So if there's an Ahsoka season 2, it's either going to sneak in before the movie or after the movie. And so I don't think Ahsoka dies anytime soon. How about that? We don't know about Ahsoka season 2 yet. But if one's announced, it ain't going to be anytime soon. Certainly not within the next year or two, right? Will Morgan, I say Ahsoka dies this chapter, last scene, and we get a camera shot of her body. It says wasted like Grand Theft Auto. Will, shame on you. Will Morgan. Will. It says, I missed the first 2 episode predictions. Is it possible to catch up to high score? It is, but it's hard. It's really hard because folks that play all the way through are going to have a big lead on you. So you have to beat them every single week and beat me every single week with catch-up points. So if I get 8, you've got to be getting 9, 10, or 11, right, with the bonus point. You've got to be consistently high. But it's possible. It is possible. Very hard. but you can get on a wall of fame where your name goes on the scroll bar for an entire week. So how about that? A what if story if the Empire defeated the rebellion. I would love to see Matt Cave. I would love to see a Star Wars what if um, as a regular series, even if it's animated. Like we get Tales of the Jedi. I think we'd love to see Tales of the Sith. We'd love to see Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales of the uh, whatever, right? You could have several series, Tales of, and be Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith, Tales of the Bounty Hunters, Tales uh, of the Kiss. I don't know. And you could also have what if stories. What if this, what if that, and multiple seasons. And just go, go. We'll watch it. We'll watch it. Uh, I saw leaks saying that Disney wanted to do a what if series. Well, we keep hearing people speculate about it, but I don't know. Will behave yourself. Will Nago Ra grew up with Ahsoka. It's going to hurt if she dies. I agree. And Dave Filoni talked with Rosario Dawson about the whole Ahsoka the White thing. And we see that she is not Ahsoka the White now. Until we see Ahsoka the White, and Will Morgan did this right with Gandalf the White. What happened? How did he get from Gandalf the Gray to Gandalf the White? Right? He went and fought the Balrog, and we thought he was dead, but he transformed to Gandalf the White. If that follows the same thesis, Ahsoka would meet an apparent end and resurrect or come out the other side of it transformed as Ahsoka the White. Don't know about dying, right? He keeps saying dying, but I don't know that Gandalf technically died. I don't know. I've got to go back and read because it's not in the movie, but I'd have to read to see if he truly died. And she has to die again. Yeah, because she already died once in the Mortis arc. So there's that. Tales of the Tales. Terrell, you've been watching my friend Jason Ward. Tales of the Old Republic. How about that? Oh, we'll get Baymax on the line. Tales for the Vespa Gang. I mean, good. Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon looks good. What did he say? Considering it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie originally. Well, I think your wording there is just a little misleading because he proposed a Star Wars story and it evolved into Rebel Moon. But I don't think it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie. It evolved, and once it evolved, he even said, "Good thing I didn't stick with Star Wars because it wouldn't have been this." Right? So this has things that you would not have had in Star Wars. Rebel Moon's going to be non-Star Warsy in many ways because he took a different direction, right? Yeah, look, we see Temple. We see there's a fandom feud that goes on, and anything that can be used as ammunition against each other, fans do it, and it's terrible. It's terrible. I hate it. Tales of the Duck. And starring everybody's favorite duck, Ducky Momo. It's Tales of the Duck. How about that? Oh my goodness. So there you go. There's our predictions for tonight. You guys, the schedule, we've gone back to a regular schedule now, and it's slightly different than we were before we took the little break through the summer. On Tuesdays, we'll come on, we'll do our predictions like we have today. We'll talk about any news that comes up. Wednesdays, I'm no longer doing watch parties in the morning. I'll be streaming at the regular time tomorrow. It'll be a rewatch, breakdown, and analysis of episode 3 tomorrow, regular time, 12 Eastern, 12:30 Eastern, somewhere in there. We will have our rewatch, breakdown, and analysis, including scoring your predictions and finding out who makes it onto the Wall of Fame for episode 3. Then Thursdays, we have a community stream. So this is one of the reasons, if you're a member on YouTube, you're one of our channel members, or you're one of our patrons, better yet, if you're one of our patrons or a YouTube member, you will get a link where you can join the show on Thursday and talk about Ahsoka episode 3. And then from time to time, we'll do a show called Guardians of the Wills. And that's where we talk about a predefined topic about Star Wars. And I've got a couple of topics lined up, but we'll get to those eventually. And we'll bring back Guardians of the Wills for those predefined topics with predetermined guests. But on Thursdays, we'll do a community stream where you can call in and you can participate, but you have to be a YouTube member or a patron. So it's a great way to get come on the show, talk to us about Star Wars. And then Fridays, we'll do a news week in review, Star Wars news week in review. And on that show, I've invited some of our friends, Star Wars Meg, she comes on the show regularly, Jason Ward from MakingStarWars.net, even Rob Sketchcraft from Making Star Wars. He's probably over there talking to Jason right now. And also Bestman Bulletin. Bestman Bulletin has come on the show a couple times. So we've got an invite out to those folks every Friday to come and talk about Star Wars news in review. And we'll talk about the news of the week. So there you guys go. That's all the things. And at the end of every show, we like to feature a Mike Porter dad joke. The legendary Mike Porter. Why did Ahsoka point to the map of the new galaxy? Why did she do that? Well, because X-Wing marks the spot. Oh, there's a Mike Porter dad joke. You know, it's not a dad joke unless you go, oh, that was bad. So good job, Mike Porter. I appreciate all of your contributions to this community and to this. Yeah, whoops, hit the wrong button. Yeah, I did that. So you guys, please remember, do all the social stuff, right? Like, comment, share, let other folks know what we're doing here. We have a good time talking about Star Wars and try to engage with you guys. I really appreciate all the interaction today. It really helps the channel out. And Matt Cave, thank you so much for gifting those memberships. What a generous thing to do, and very, very helpful to the channel. So you guys, thank you for being here. Enjoy Ahsoka tonight. And I can't wait to come talk to you about it tomorrow. And until then, my friends, Merry Christmas. And may the Force be with you always. Bye-bye.